All right, there's plenty of ways to vote in the 2020 election coming up on November 3rd. One of those methods being utilized more than ever is mail-in voting. Earlier, our own Jesse Irwin broke down how you can vote in mail of 2 of our 4 states. Now, you got to remember, less than 10 days left till Election Day, so here's what you need to know for the other 2.
Well, there's this thing you've probably heard of. It's called mail-in voting. But how does it work? Well, let me walk you through it because it's still possible in some places. Missouri residents have until 5 p.m. on the second Wednesday before the election to apply for a mail-in ballot, or unfortunately, October 21st. Now, unlike Kansas, mail-in ballots will not be counted if they're turned into an election office in person. If they bring in a mail-in ballot to the polls, election officials will take the ballot and let the Missourian vote in person instead. Ballots will not be counted past 7 p.m. on Election Day, regardless of whether they're a mail-in ballot or not. So if you plan to vote by mail, make sure you're making that plan and you send out your ballot as early as possible. Missouri doesn't have do-it-yourself tracking like Kansas, so residents can track their vote through the USPS, or they can call their local election authority a week after they've cast their ballot to see if it's been received. If a resident decides that they'd rather vote in person, they can still choose to do so as long as they haven't already cast their mail-in ballot. The state of Missouri requires that you get your mail-in ballot notarized, so know where your local notary is and make sure you plan for that. In Arkansas, residents have until October 27th to request a mail-in ballot. Ballots can be requested at the Arkansas Secretary of State website, this link right here. Now, mail-in ballots must be submitted 7 days before the election for processing. If someone doesn't mail in their ballot by that time, don't stress. A ballot can be turned in person 1 day before the election, that Monday, at the local county clerk's office. Now, ballots can be tracked through the USPS. If a resident decides they'd rather vote in person, then they can still choose to do so as long as they haven't already cast their mail-in ballot vote. Now, if you have more questions or you need to clarify something, we're going to have all this on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com for all 4 states. And if you haven't gotten set up to vote yet, make sure you do so.
Now, if you missed any of Jesse's segments for Kansas or Oklahoma, you can catch them on KOAM Morning News coming up on Fox 14. That begins at 7. We're going to be right back with Health Watch right after this.